Right, bit of a different video today, very interesting one. I spent a lot of time here as a child because just in the distance over there, I can only just see it actually, just round that bend, is my grandma and granddad's old farm. So granddad used to come across this bridge with his combine with no cab on it and then go down to these fields down here behind us. And I remember my grandma saying to me years ago, she goes, oh, there's a tank buried over there. And you sort of think, yeah, right, grandma, whatever. But there was actually one found, as seen just here. It was found a few years ago, and today we're going to go and have a look at it. And yeah, we're going to have a look and see what's been done to it, really. But if you don't know the story behind it, this big river here, look, the River Welland, it's got like these two big banks each side. And back in 1947, all the snow melted. And obviously the river level comes right up to the top of this bank. And I've seen it where the bank gives way before. But in 1947, the bank gave way and the army decided they were going to park some tanks in the hole to try and stop it from flooding. So, and that's what they did. That's what they did. They tried to park these amphibious tanks in the hole, try and stop it from flooding. But obviously, because they're amphibious tanks, they just sort of floated away. And then the actual torrent of water coming through the bank, it sort of created like this whirlpool, and it sucked the tanks like down and into the ground and buried them. No one ever knew where they were. And then obviously Daniel, who we're going to see today, he found one and he's dug it up. So it's really interesting. It was actually just over there, just behind them trees over there in the distance. So not far away. So all that time, my grandma was saying, yeah, there was a tank there. There actually was. So the floods were in 1947. But the war had only ended 2 years before, and these tanks were actually used for the River Rhine crossing in Germany to get all the troops over into German territory. And then when they came back to the UK, obviously that was, you know, we're only talking a couple of years later, they were used for, well, nobody really knew what to do with them. So I guess they were sat somewhere, and then when this hole appeared, they sort of got brought here to plug this hole up. And by them actually floating away and being buried has actually saved them. So it's really interesting. So let's go and have a look how the restoration project's going. So we're now 3 years on, nearly 4 years actually, from when this was dug out the ground. And there's not really been many updates about it, has there?
No.
So we're going to actually have a look round and see what's been done, because it's had a new set of tracks, it's had the gearbox put in, you're getting ready for the new engine as well, aren't you?
Yes, we
So
are.
I can't quite believe what good condition it is in as well, because everything works, doesn't it still? Like,
Yes.
These aren't new cables.
No, the originals.
All originals, and it all still works. So I did just have a go at winching it up. So we're going to go around this way, go around the tracks, have a look around the front, come round, and then we're going to go inside, because Daniel's put these all these like perspex bits on so we can see all the old fuel tanks. It's just really interesting. So let's go and have a look. So we're going to start here. You've actually had sponsorship, haven't you, for people putting their names on the tracks?
Yes, yeah. So people can donate money towards the funds.
And this is to get it up and running?
Yes, up and running by 2027.
Okay.
You get your name printed on these track links.
Okay.
I can't remember off the top of my head how much it is, but it will be on the GoFundMe page.
I'll put a link to the GoFundMe page so you can have a look, because it's, you know, you're nearly at the final stages of, you've got the wiring loom to do, get the engine in,
yeah,
and you're pretty much
there
to get this running.
Yeah.
And all this here, this is all the original. This is all the original running gear. You've had some new teeth on it, haven't you?
Yeah, just new sprockets, but all this is original.
Yeah.
Kindly restored by David Brown's.
David Brown was the original gearbox, wasn't it?
David Brown restored the gearbox. It was
Okay.
a Dana Spicer gearbox.
Oh, right, okay.
Same gearbox that was used in the Stuart light tanks.
Right. And these are all ballast tanks on the side, aren't they?
Yes. So you got ballast tanks and armour plating. Not many Buffaloes came with the armour plating on the sides.
Okay.
Some had foot rest inside, so you better hoink yourself over the side.
When you get round the other side, we see it's still got German bullet holes in the side of it, isn't it?
It has, yeah.
Yeah, really interesting.
Yeah.
And you were telling me earlier that we've got some pictures of this was actually involved in World War II, And this was what were taking the chaps across the River Rhine into Germany, weren't they?
Yeah, yeah.
And this tank actually escorted Winston Churchill?
Winston Churchill, yeah. So on the video, on one of the videos I've seen, it's got a number 30 written on the front.
And this has?
This had.
Yes.
When we found it in 2021,
yeah.
we cleaned the front, it's got a very faint number 30. That's as close as I can get it to Winston Churchill. He came across the Rhine on an LVT2.
And
this is an LVT4.
Okay.
So yeah.
So this escorted him with the others, do you think?
Yeah, yeah.
Right, let's go down here. All the original track, like all this here as well. Just there, it's all the original grease. You haven't greased any of these.
No.
You wouldn't believe that this has been buried for 75 years and it's in this sort of condition, would you?
No.
I mean, you've got a few little bits of rust at the top, but all the rollers and everything is in.
Well, even if you get down here, look. These rollers spin, look. And we noticed when we were pulling it out of the ground in 2021,
yeah.
This side of the tracks were turning.
Oh, I noticed it. As you pulled it out, the tracks were going round, weren't they?
Yeah.
So actually, having this buried underground for 75 years has probably saved it.
Yeah. With no oxygen or air got to it, you see.
Yeah.
It was just massive clay and peaked. And so it's just well preserved.
And it's still got all the writing over the sides.
Yeah. So here, this is an upside down number 15, but that was put on there from the factory. So that was put on the factory, the Food Machinery Corporation in Florida in 1944. This must have been like the 15th panel or something, you know.
Yeah.
And below the fuel drain, there's a number 30, you know, and that's been chalked or painted. And
then you've got, you say you got some signatures?
Yeah, so if you look up to the light, you get to see the signatures here, written from above.
From the men who were in it in World War II?
Yeah.
Yeah, really interesting, isn't it?
Yeah, it's got character. And just here you can see serial.
Oh yeah, I can see that, yeah.
And it's in like a blackboard, so they would have chalked a number on there during World War II.
Oh, okay. And then it's still got all the original painted numbers.
Yeah, so that's the British Army number.
Yep.
And here I think it's got exit written on it in yellow.
I can just see it, yeah.
There's a bit of writing there from the factory.
All right. It's sat on this trailer at the moment, so you can move it around easy, isn't it?
It's like a tug sort of thing.
Yeah. And then it's still got these tyres that are on the front here. You haven't put them on.
No, but these we found in the hole.
Yeah.
They got Made in England written on them.
Okay.
And we think they're probably off a Bedford lorry. But they were for the buffer zone, so when the buffaloes collided or something, these acted as a buffer.
Bumper car.
Yeah.
And then around the front here, it's still got, someone's wrote oil okay, so someone's obviously serviced it.
Yeah, and there's written oil okay on it. And it's got a white X, but we don't know what that means. Either after World War II, they were put into a storage compound at Histon Barracks near Cambridge, and we wonder if the white X was to mark the ones that go to scrap or not. But fortunately, the 47 floods happened, and they brought 16 from Cambridge to us in Crowland to act as a flood defence.
And this is the original shackle as well. You haven't put this on, have you?
No, that's the original one. Yeah, we used that in 2021 to break the seal with North Level Drainage Board machinery.
To pull it out?
To winch it out, yeah.
I suppose the suction was holding it in the ground.
Yeah.
And you had two Foden wreckers pulling it out.
Yeah. We put them on the back of the track tensioners at the back.
Oh, okay.
And gave it a little bit of a tweak.
Were you worried about pulling it in half or not?
That was mentioned, but do you know what? She came up a treat.
Oh, excellent.
Yeah. I want to do it again someday, but
you need someone with a digger like you've just been. You've just been hinting to me, haven't you?
Yeah.
So, round here, pretty much the same again.
Round here, we found a US stamp.
Okay.
Of approval. So every buffalo that came out the factory would have had a stamp of approval.
Okay.
And if you notice just here,
Yeah,
on the armour plating, it's got US.
Yep.
It's got an anchor.
Okay.
So that was been for the US Marines and US Navy.
Yep.
And that would have been the stamp of approval. on the brass bilge pump system inside the cockpit, it's printed US with an anchor. So it's I found it a bit touching really, because I imagine the people building these things for World War II, these were actually built for the Pacific, for island hopping in the Pacific. They weren't meant to come to the British Army, because the British Army had made the Neptune amphibious vehicle at the Nuffield factory, but they weren't very good for the field.
No.
So then 500 of these come from Florida for the British Army, and they used 450, 50 for spare parts, because the German U-boats were sinking the spare parts coming from America.
Oh, I see. And then down here you can see all the German bullet holes, can't you?
Yeah. So if you notice this one going up here, links to here.
Yep.
This is a good machine gun fire.
So this would have probably been crossing the River Rhine?
Could be crossing the River Rhine, or in Italy.
Okay.
Or throughout Holland. We have photographs of number 30 coming through woods in Holland. So that's a rough guide. But yeah, see the bullet holes here, look, ricocheting up.
Someone was in this when they were shooting at it, weren't they?
And I know that one is true because that's gone through into the ballast tanks.
Okay.
And this line here is the edge of the fuel tank. Now, if it was a bit further that way, it would have been boom. The whole thing would have blown up.
A lot of history behind this, isn't there?
There is, yeah. Especially to the detail, because you can see G written on the end of onto the drain plug, gasoline. You know, how much detail do we put into things, you know, apart from made in England or made in Great Britain?
Not anymore.
Not anymore.
No, not anymore. So we're going to go around and have a look inside of it now. A bit earlier, actually, I winched this back door up, and I can tell you it was really hard work, especially because I've cracked a rib at the moment. The original rubber seal around here is still... Well, it's completely intact.
Yeah, but you can touch it, it's still spongy.
I know.
You know.
I want to know if it still floats.
Well, that is the challenge, isn't it, hey?
Yeah. I'm going to show you this, winching this up again now, because it was hard work. I'm going to do a bit and then you take over from me.
Oh, really?
Yeah. It's hard work.
Big man like yourself, I thought this would be easy.
I've got a crap rib and it hurts. Nearly there. So you imagine every single time, you out of breath as well?
Just a little bit, yeah.
Yeah, you imagine every single time you want to go in the water, you've got to pick that back door up and then start shooting again.
Yeah.
And then when you want to get out, you've got to, I'll show you how we get out, look. If we go on this one here, put that on there, and then just push it.
I think so.
I didn't want to go and... And you haven't repaired any of that, have you?
No.
That's all still working. So you're replacing some bits on it as well. So you've
Yes. So these panels either side have been made by Multifab in Peterborough.
Okay.
Because the originals were rotted out.
All right.
So this would have been the tool chest.
And you've still got a US Army axe in there.
I have. Yeah, I bought it because I thought it should go into a US vehicle.
Okay. And then down the bottom here, so you've still got the original panels, but you've just replaced them with perspex so people can see.
Yes, so I can then describe that this brass filler leads to the rubber self-sealing fuel tanks.
Okay. What, so why the rubber, in case someone shoots them or something?
Yeah, and then they'll just self-seal.
That's interesting.
It's interesting, isn't it? I haven't put anything in them to try them, but I'm intrigued to find if they'll hold fuel still.
Were they full of water when you...
I haven't even investigated it.
Oh, okay.
They don't sound full.
Okay. So this is one of the things you've got to do. This is why you need the funds to
Yeah.
finish off, basically, isn't it?
Yeah, we need funds to just go through and test what we have still available. You know, all this pipe work really needs testing.
This shed used to be, well, a few months ago, I had a sprayer and tractor and combine in it, but now it's got a tank in it.
Yeah.
So it's going to have to live in the corner, but you turn it into one.
I'm going to have to tell you off there because when people mention tank,
Yeah.
it's not a tank, it's actually an amphibious vehicle, an amphibious landing craft.
Well, same thing, isn't it?
Well, not really, because a tank has a turret on and shoots at things.
Well, this has got machine gun holders
This
on.
has got machine gun holders. It had a smoke generator on the front, 30 cal or 50 cal on,
Yeah.
and it would have had a Polson cannon on over the cockpit.
Okay.
20mm Polson cannon.
Oh, right, okay.
But yeah, so all these panels, the new panels you see, have been redone by Multifab in Peterborough.
And you're going to keep refurbing the bits that need to be done?
Yeah, because as you see, this will fall to bits when it goes up the road.
What's your plan? What are you actually going to do with it in the years to come, do you think? You want to take it places? Or?
I'd like to take it to places and demonstrate it, but
Okay.
to run on concrete, because your question earlier on is to run on concrete, I need to find somebody with a laser cutter to make me some new track links so I'll take the cups off.
Or a CNC plasma cutter?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know anyone.
No, I didn't think it would. So,
What's this bit here anyway?
anyway, this bit here is a gun shield. This
Yeah.
was made by the Traxon company, and the Traxon company was taken over by Caterpillar.
And this was the first piece you found?
Yes, it was, yeah. And
When you were digging it out?
you can see the gunshots on it, look. But you look how thick it is.
Yeah, it's incredibly thick.
Yeah. And that sits up here on my homemade carrier.
Okay.
I made that from an old steerage hoe axle.
Oh, okay.
So, you know what us farmers are like.
I know what us farmers are like, bodge everything. Yeah. You know what it's like. So, look, everything as well.
Yeah, we broke a lifting eye in 2021, so there should be a lifting eye there. We're trying to lift it to put it onto a trailer.
Yeah.
And that lifting eye gave way. So there's a lifting eye there and a lifting eye there, and there's one here, look.
Oh yeah, these bits here.
And that's to lift it so you can crane it onto ships.
All right. How much do you say it weighs?
It weighs about 13 tonne.
Okay. It's quite heavy, isn't it? Really.
Yeah, it is, yeah.
So we're going to go through the front now because you've nearly renovated the engine room, or not the engine room, the gearbox.
Gearbox room, yeah. The
So-
gearbox, the cockpit area has been near enough renovated. We've just got to finish off the pipe work for the fuel system and the fire extinguisher system.
Yeah.
And then put the seats in, put the gear levers in, and hopefully that system will be done.
And you've got all the seats and everything.
Yeah, we've got brand new seats being remade.
Yeah. Everything's all been renovated.
Multifab again made the seat panels, and then a chap over at Mildenhall made the seat cushions and everything. So yeah, we've had a lot of interest.
Yeah.
But then it's just died of death. You know, it's disappeared.
Yeah, and you're so nearly there, aren't you?
Yeah.
So anyone watching who's interested, it's
So
you're going to open this for people to come look at as well.
I
aren't
am. Yeah, where we stood at the moment is going to be the World War II building.
you? Yep.
And then it's going to be called the Crowland Heritage and Agricultural Museum.
Okay.
And
When do you think you're going to have it open for people to come look at?
I think it will be open next year. There's a lot of work involved, and there's only me doing it at the moment. So,
Yeah.
you know, if I start now and start building it up, it'll be ready for next year.
Oh, good. Before I get in here, the engine was just here, wasn't it? And
It was indeed.
a radial engine.
It is a radial continental engine.
So we've got that engine just here like this, and it's in a pretty bad way, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
So what are you? You said you've got another engine.
Yeah. So Michael Sly
Yep.
at Park Farm Thorney got in touch with somebody in America that's got an engine in storage
Okay.
that apparently was originally for a Buffalo.
Yeah.
But the farmer bought it for a Boeing Stearman aircraft, so that's what the engines were originally built for, and he never used it. So
you're lucky.
We've got it, and we've got it up and running.
Okay.
But it's the same engine that was in the Stuart light tanks.
Yep.
And the Sherman had a 9-cylinder radial.
Yep.
So yeah, it's strange, really, as we're on the engine subject. You don't think of amphibious vehicles and tanks having radial aircraft engines to operate. You know,
Petrol.
petrol, yeah.
Petrol.
Yeah.
That's why when they get hit by bullets, it
Yeah.
doesn't do them a lot of good, does
No,
it?
no, not really. Bang, bang.
So, right, I'm going to get inside. If I get in here, so this is the engine room.
Yes,
it's still holding water, I can see.
Yeah, it's still holding water.
It's still all the original pipes.
Yeah, so in here, you've got fire extinguishers. These are all for the fire extinguisher. So if you look in the compartment there,
Oh, I can see them all.
original fire extinguisher.
Yep.
So the chap in the back here would have had somewhere off here somewhere is a pull switch, and you pull. Oh, there it is. Look. So you'd have pulled that if there was a fire in the engine bay.
Yeah.
And the crew didn't know, and it would have put the fire engine out and everything else.
So this door here, look, that I'm not going to squeeze through at all.
Well,
This is the engine room door, is it?
Yeah, but I thought you just said you were going to give it a try.
Yes. Exactly. Oh, oh my God.
Go on. Do you want me to give you a push?
No, that's all right. Right, I'm now in the gearbox room. So I'm in the driver's position now, am I?
You are, yeah. Well, minus the red face, yes.
Oh look, we've got the periscope here. All that still works, does it?
Yes. Do you want to have a look in it?
Oh, I'm looking in it now.
So yeah, so the gearbox was restored by David Brown.
Yeah.
And the cockpit area was restored by Crowland cranes.
Yep. So this is the gear stick. So I'll be sat here.
Yeah. You'll be operating that to go into gear.
First.
It's a crashed gearbox, so you know you would be knocking in and out of gear to go.
So
I can't wait to give it a go.
These little bits here.
Yeah, so that eventually when we get the parts made, that will work.
So all this was completely full of clay when you found it, because these hatches were open, were they?
Yeah, the hatch here, the hatch nearest you was open.
Okay.
And it crushed the visor and perspex shield.
And all these pipes down here, they're all original, are they?
Yes, they are.
Yeah, it's pretty impressive what clay can do for 75 years, and it's completely saved it, really, isn't it?
It has indeed, yeah. The gearbox has had, we had to have it re-skimmed on the top because of the aluminium was corroded.
Okay.
But David Brown had sorted all that out. So it's all thanks to Steve Watson and the guys at David Brown, like Matt Heaton. As a whole list of people worked on it.
I think it's done a brilliant job. Right, we're going to have a look at some of your spare parts you've taken off now, and have a look around some of these periscopes and stuff. But yeah, you're going to show us the original batteries as well, aren't you?
I am, yes, yeah.
Come over to, this is all where all the spare parts are. So this is all the bits you've taken off that you've been restoring.
Yeah.
This is quite interesting, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, we believe this is probably the only two
Yeah. In the world.
For filler caps for LVT4s, but you could use them for a Madonna costume outfit if you want, or a Chinese hat.
So these go in the top of the fuel tank, and then you pour your petrol through them. Is that what you want to do with these?
Just a bit of fun.
So what's this bit here then?
The lids.
Oh, you still got the lids as well?
Yeah, still got the lids. Look, look how good they are.
So they're the lids for the fuel tanks?
Yeah. What amazed me was using brass lids. Why don't you use brass handles? And you put metal handles on brass lids. It's a bit strange, isn't it?
Oh dear.
So in 1947, while these were in the flood defence, they left the hatches open because they're still moving and adjusting them.
Yeah.
Well, this one, number 47, left its hatch open when it sank, and it crushed the visor.
So this is the part you'd put your head against for the periscope?
It is indeed, yes. So you would have this against your head, This above you, and this is what the periscope would look out of.
This is the original one?
Yeah, it is, and we've made copies of that.
Okay, good. That's the original one from 1940s.
And we got them made, the copies made at White Illusions down in St Albans.
Okay.
They've made the copies for us.
What's this next part here?
Well, we believe that's an axe shaft, but we never found the axe head.
No.
But you can see the green paint on it. You can see it's still got markings on it, and
That's come out of it as well?
It has, yeah.
I mean, it looks like it's just come out of someone's workshop, but that's actually a bung.
It is indeed, yeah. But what gets me is no woodworm, no rot.
Because it's been in that clay.
It's been in that clay.
So this would have been here, if you'd have got shot at and you've got a hole inside,
that's it.
You'd quickly knock that in the side to stop the water coming in. And then still all the original hoses.
Yeah, so that's the bilge pump hose.
Okay.
Just so that people can actually touch it, feel it, and understand it.
Now this is the next really special bit, isn't it?
Well, I think so. You know, this is what I classed as rations under the cockpit, and a lot of people got excited.
So when you were digging the cockpit out, you found like rations from World War II.
Yeah.
That had been stashed under there.
Under the seats, yeah.
Which is in here.
So in here, we've got your Gibbs toothpaste. Now, so
that's World War II toothpaste. Yeah,
it
look,
is, yeah.
W. Gibbs Limited, England.
And it's still partly full. You know, if we take the top off it, you can still see it.
Wow.
Yeah, and that's what I called as a ration, really, because that amazed us that it was in a complete tin. We thought it was a complete tin, but as you can see, it's rotted away. But
yeah, okay.
And then one of our volunteers, James Trott, found this sitting on a rail underneath.
Okay.
Now this must be a rare piece of kit. This is you can take this bit off.
Yeah.
And put a screwdriver end on or something. It's threaded here.
So all this stuff in this box here was found in the cockpit, but this.
We think that's a soldering iron.
This is what I like the best. The original plates, which you keep under lock and key.
Yeah.
These are the original plates. Water buffalo, amphibious tractor they've called it. Designed, manufactured for the United States Armed Forces by Food Machinery Corporation. And look at that. That's some history right there, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's some history. And then there's a load of other little bits and bobs in here, isn't there? This is the gearbox. You know, when I was playing with the gearbox earlier, if I'd have had this, it would have told me which gear to put it in. But you've taken all that out, haven't you?
I have, yeah.
Secured all that.
And we've had some new hinges remade by a local company in steel form.
Are these the old ones?
Yeah, they're the brass form, yeah.
They've still got the original
serial number on.
Serial numbers in, which is pretty cool, isn't it?
And underneath the buffalo, we've noticed that we're missing a bung, and we wonder if this is the missing bung. Everything laid under a bed of clay. All the panels laid under the bed of clay.
Okay.
And this laid under.
When you pulled it out, did you check the ground to make sure you'd got everything?
Yeah. I picked up all the old track links and everything.
So this here, do you reckon this was an old cigar tin or something?
I think so, yeah.
So that was under the seat as well?
Yeah. You can just imagine them saying, we'll smoke this if we get it to the other side, And this is the trap pin. This is holds the trap pins. That's how it came out.
Well, that's the original?
Yeah.
Yeah, wow. That would be made out of... What would that be made out of? Something hard, chromium boron or something? I've no idea.
I don't know. And then we've got a Bakelite blast valve.
What's that for? Flood raise to drain lower. What's that for?
So when you're empty, you flood the chambers with the water to counterbalance.
Yeah.
And then when you've got weight on, you discharge the water because you've got weight on.
Oh, right.
Buffalo. And then that's from David Brown. That's all the people that helped with the gearbox.
Just this here, bit of a nice little gesture.
Yeah.
So they're looking forward to you getting this running, hopefully.
Yes, yeah.
These are all the new seats and that's all the running gear, is it?
Yeah. We've kept the original gear levers and the rubbers.
Yeah.
We've got a 1944 fire extinguisher up there with the Bakelite tube on it.
Yeah.
That's all original.
Yeah.
We've had the pedals all revamped. We've had some panels revamped.
Yeah.
we're basically now getting to the point of fitting all these bits, but the volunteers have laid off a bit because I think it's just dragging on a bit longer than they thought.
Well, these things take time.
It does. Yeah.
We look down here. You've got the original batteries that come out of it as well.
Yes. Yeah. Now they're auto, something auto written on the side.
All right.
If I drag one out, you'll see. There.
What's it say? Auto lights, is that?
Yeah. Well, I've contacted the company.
Yeah.
Asking if we can get some sponsorship from them to advertise their name, and they said no, we've never made batteries, mate.
All right.
They make spark plugs, but they don't make batteries. But they used to make batteries.
And you say these have still got full charge? Well, you've charged them.
We charged them, and one holds its charge. Yeah.
So you still use that? Shows you how good stuff.
Yeah.
Years ago was.
They're rubber, rubber batteries.
Wow. Yeah, very interesting. So these, you got your original teeth all down there.
Yeah.
These are the original
Oil coolers.
So you I bet they'd still work, wouldn't they?
They still work, yeah. But while we had them off, we thought we're best to get them changed and make some new ones.
Refurbed.
So the new ones are up there.
Oh, okay. And then you've got the original tracks in here as well.
Yeah, so for our merchandise, we've put this on with a little brass plaque. And these are original track links, and we're selling them off to try and raise money for the Buffalo.
Okay, to try and get it running again.
Yeah.
Have you sold many?
No, not. People want to buy the complete track. Well, if they offer us a good amount of money, yeah.
Oh yeah. So these are the radar scans that you use to find it.
Yes. Yeah. Amazing, really, what technology can do. This chap walked along the field with like a lighting board strapped to his side. Steve Openshaw.
Yeah.
And yeah, brilliant bit of kit.
More scans as well. That's what you use to find. It's incredible, isn't it? Really.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then obviously when you pulled it out, there was a lot of it all went around the world, didn't it?
It definitely did. It's quite shocking, really, because we had a Australian ring me up and offered me 500,000 for the Buffalo, but I declined because I was trying to save a bit of local myth
history,
and now it's become.
And you're not allowed to sell it anyway, are you?
No, I'm not. No, the MOD have said not to sell it. So we're custodians. The Buffalo Trust is custodians of the Buffalo.
Yep.
And I'd like to get the army more involved and trying to keep it as an education vehicle for past generations into the future generations.
Yeah, okay. You say you're trying to get some army cadets to rewire it or something.
Yeah. Well, that's what I was thinking. If the army got involved, or anyone out there with the ways of understanding the wiring loom, because us farmers don't understand wirings, do we?
Not really, no. No, not really. There's loads of stuff here, isn't there, you've collected. So this is all,
These are all just newspaper articles.
There's a picture of them where they lined, some clever spark thought it'd be a great idea to line all amphibious tanks up to try and block this hole in the side, in the side of the bank, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's just mind-boggling, really, what's people have tried, and over the was it 5 years ago that Chinook was putting stone into the bank?
It collapsed again, didn't it?
Yeah, and the army was brought back in,
Yeah, really interesting. There's some really good pictures here in a minute as well, aren't there?
And this photograph here, look, German prisoners of war clearing Wansford bypass 1947. So in 1947, the prisoners of war are still here. They stayed. They stayed, and they helped clear the snow. And the snow is the reason this is the amount of water.
Yeah.
The massive thaw of 1947.
See all these pictures of buffaloes, look. I don't know if you can see that very well, but that's them all trying to breach this hole in the bank.
Yeah. And you say that your grandparents Were they involved in this?
No, they weren't involved with it, but obviously, literally the field next door, where they used to harvest it and whatever else, they, I remember my grandma telling me when I was young, she was like, oh, there's a tank buried just there, but you sort of just, when I was quite young, I was like, I didn't really understand it maybe, whereas if she had told me now, I'd be having the digger down here digging it up.
Yeah.
But at the time, I was, you know, I don't know really, I just sort of shrugged it off, but then you've gone and dug it up. And
Yeah. Well, I've followed my grandparents. What grandfather said was he took me to the place and he can remember them sinking, and he literally stood over the gouge hole. Now, you see this picture here? That's the buffalo we've just been on. So
that one there at the back.
There, yeah.
That one there.
Yeah. That's the buffalo we've just been on. So I've got photographs before it sank.
So look, this is it. This is them sinking. Look, so like this part here, they put all these buffaloes just here to try and stop this flow of water. But unfortunately, because they're amphibious tanks, they sort of floated away, and then they didn't. They went into what?
They got sucked into the whirlpool of the pressure of the water. Sucked it into it.
And then sucked it underground.
Yeah. And once that cockpit filled with water, you imagine you've got the engine and the gearbox at the front, so it's just like a weight.
Just heavier and heavier, pulling it down.
Yeah.
And then you go and dig it up. So, and then we've got some pictures of you pulling it out as well, haven't we? So
yeah, you have actually, yeah. Well,
let's just have a look. There's one more here. That's
so I was
here they are. Look, these are the buffaloes just here. So here's the breach. Oh no, here's the breach just here.
Yeah, that's the first breach, and then the second breach is here.
Okay. So look, they've tried to. Also, they breached. They bodged it up.
Yeah, they bodged it up, but the pressure of the water, because they didn't weigh them down.
Yeah.
The pressure of the water washed them away.
Oh really?
And I'm looking at having a word with Nathan, the street artist in Peterborough, to see if he could actually paint this on the board for our museum.
Oh, excellent. So this buffalo here, do you think that's the one? Or did that one survive, or was it this one here that's half submerged?
No, those two over there are under the fishing pit. They're still underwater, 6 foot down.
There's two more there.
Yeah. And this one here, we believe that we found it on the scans, and it's 50-50 between the grass field and the water, and then there's two more underground here.
Around there, but you can't dig them because they're in the fishing pond. And then you can't dig this because it's in the bank. You can't dig within 8 metres of the bank.
8 metres of the bank, but I can dig these two up because they're in the right spot.
And you've got the rights to do it.
Yeah.
Oh, lovely. Let's have a look at you pulling it out. So these are the pictures you got of you digging it out when you first found it, are they?
Yes, they are, yeah. Well, I think Nick from the drainage board said it was about 4,000 cubic tons of soil moved.
Yeah, okay. So you had to have a long reach digger.
Yeah. Compliments of North Level Drainage Board.
And there it is when you first started to
on day one.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That was day one that you found that?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. And there it is down there.
And then you're getting down to day 2.
A lot of people said to you wouldn't find it, didn't they?
They did indeed, yeah. I was wasting people's time and effort, but I stuck to my guns, and what a wonderful bit of kit, really. What a wonderful bit of history.
Yeah, definitely. Well, no one else would have probably found it, would they?
No.
So, I take it you had to run pumps as well to keep pumping it.
Yeah, we had to keep flushing the water out every morning because the water kept coming in. But the strange thing was digging near a fishing pit and the water level hardly moved, and the water seemed to be coming from the rear of the buffalo.
Okay.
And so that indicated to me we were draining something else out.
All right.
So I've got an inkling where the next two are.
All right.
Well, I'm hoping they are.
Hopefully you'll...
Just got to persuade somebody with a digger to come and give me a hand.
Yeah, I just don't know anybody, unfortunately, which is a bit of a shame, isn't it? But
it is really, yes. And notice on this picture here, look, there's Al Murray.
Yeah.
The pub landlord, and the historian James Holland.
And then the army...
And this is 3-2 regiment. So 3-2 regiment used the triangle from the 79th Armoured now.
All right, okay.
And then on this picture you got
Got Dan Snow
Dan
here.
Snow. That's it.
Can't remember who it was, can you?
I should remember my own name, shouldn't I? Yeah, Dan Snow's here. Look, so yeah.
And then just as well, whilst we're here, I remember seeing a visitor book a minute ago, and you actually had.
Yes.
So a couple of years ago.
Yeah, in 2021.
Yep.
We had an open day for Al Murray and James Holland.
Okay.
And Major Austin came from the 3-2 Regiment, so this is his signature.
Yep.
Keep up the great work.
Yep.
And thank you. And we had a special invite by Ernie Coville, who was a driver of the LVT through the Rhine crossing.
So how old was he?
He was about 94 at this time, and
But
he passed away at 95.
But he signed it and told you the story about
Yeah. The strange thing about the story of meeting a veteran is that he didn't want to get on board. He wanted to just see it. But as the army lifted him on board...
What the army said, we want to get...
Yeah. They said, we'll lift your wheelchair up and you can actually sit inside the Buffalo.
Yeah.
We lifted him up, and as soon as those wheels hit the ground, it was like him going back to World War II. He knew exactly how the Buffalo operated. He wanted to drive it there and then. You know, his age gap went back to when he was 16. He drove these amphibious vehicles across the Rhine.
Okay.
And
he could possibly have drove this one, do you think?
He could have done. But he actually told us how to operate the engine, how to operate the controls inside. It was just like he was there at the moment and the time. And he signed it here, look, on the 4th of 6th, 21. And he's even remembered his service number. And he's written there, look, what a wonderful chap. And we've met another one since then who was a mechanic, and he showed us pictures of various tanks being stripped at Histon Barracks in Cambridgeshire, and yeah, straight from there really.
Well, what an interesting story. Loads of pictures here of all the rescue and everything else, loads of other stuff. And in there, there's loads of old pictures. But here, there's 2 Buffalo tanks, little 3. This is crossing into Germany. So there's the bridge at the back the Germans blew up. If we read on the back here, the Nazis destroyed this bridge over the Rhine at Weasel, but they didn't stop these British troops of the Cheshire Regiment from crossing the river to support British commando forces. They crossed in buffaloes from which the men at right can be seen disembarking. That's quite interesting, isn't it? So this was a paper diagram that Daniel found behind the electrical box. Yeah. I hope that's been fairly interesting on a bit of an update of the Crowland Buffalo. Thanks today to Daniel for showing us around. And the main reason we sort of come to have a look was just interesting, really, isn't it? And you just want to try and raise a few funds just to get it finished off.
And also try and keep history alive. You know, I think with the modern day technology and everything, people forget what it's about and everything. And we're, Thursdays, VE Day. And we're remembering these veterans and these people who have fought for our country to where we stand today. And it's without these vehicles, like the Buffalo,
they wouldn't have been able to get across the Rhine, would they?
And we wouldn't be here now. You know, and that's what I was trying to push to people, and understand that when you touch the handle on that vehicle, how many guys have actually touched it, and have they survived? You know, it's quite moving, really.
Yeah, very. Well, thank you very much. We'll
right.
probably visit again at some point, or no doubt get a digger down here and see what happens. But right, thank you very much for watching. We'll see you all soon.